Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. Y'all know what it is. It's First Formation Morning Sports Talk. Fall in with us. It's me, your boy Trey, my man Bishop. Bishop, what's good with you, bro? What's going on this morning?
WGO, WGO, what's going on? How y'all doing on this Tuesday, man? We've all made it past Monday, probably the most hated day of the week. We're on to Tuesday. That means we're one day closer to the weekend, as well as what else? As you can see, Psi Row 5 Military Fraternity Incorporated. We're about to have our Founders Day weekend, as well as our Theta line crossing, this weekend coming up in the Houston area. So if you're in the Houston area, be sure to stop on through. Check your boys out from First Formation in the morning, fall, and hopefully we'll see some of y'all faces in the Houston area starting this week. What's up, Trey? How was your Monday night, man? I mean, I
Uh,
despite the fact I know that I went almost perfect in the NBA picks, but
Here we go already early this morning.
I'm
Here
just
we go
saying.
already early this morning
I'm
with
just saying.
with uh uh, with this. So it was cool. I since the season stopped, uh gearing up for softball season. So
Okay.
currently got a golf season going on, softball season
Off
going on.
season.
So
Okay.
doing different things. Inventories coming up, so it just basically works out for the most part.
Right. I
So
feel you. I feel
but
you.
it was all right day. Didn't do too much. Couple of meetings
Hmm.
here and there. As you
Okay.
just said, getting ready to go to the uh getting ready to go to Houston
That's
this week.
right. Good morning,
Yeah,
Esteban. Good morning. Good morning.
so
Appreciate you,
cool,
man.
cool.
Appreciate you.
So that's it. That was my day for the most part. Pretty cool day over a case like that. The little storm calm before the storm now. It's like I said, softball season is one of the bigger and more participation, the largest participation for the most part here on
Oh, really? Y'all got more softball players than basketball and flag football players,
definitely,
or
but
participate
yeah,
or teams, should I say?
yeah, for the most part. So
Oh
it's
wow.
it's it's a it's I believe softball, and then after softball, flag football is probably the next one, and then after that, I actually soccer I think comes next. After that, after basketball, I mean after flag football.
Oh wow. Okay. Just want to
But
say I
it's
called it
it's
yesterday. Coach from St. Peter's going to Big East school. Okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Trey. Go ahead.
oh yeah, and I said basically yeah. So that, and then at the end of the day, but it's not even intramural laden. It's just people more so pickup. Like I see messages where people were like, "Hey, we got games going on, flag football games going on at the field." So it's
Hmm.
crazy, but no one wants to compete. Compete in intramurals. They just want to get
Hmm.
together and play. So interesting.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Oh, so going to the Big East, huh?
Yeah. I mean, kind of expect stuff like that when they do well in these smaller schools. What up, Key? What's good? What's good? How you doing this morning on this Tuesday? When you got some of these smaller schools who do well, who do well in the tournament and stuff like that, yeah, they have a tendency to find or other programs have a tendency to seek out those coaches to come into bigger schools and try and move their program in a direction in which they moved their previous school in. So Seton Hall, good place for them. Bless you, babe. Yeah, Seton Hall. Yeah, that's cool. Seton Hall. Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, it ain't St. Peter's, but so yeah,
Seton
I'm
Hall.
sure. Yeah.
Mm. So when I look at something like that, what's good, Key? I'm sorry. So when I look at something like that, so let's say like they say Seton Hall. If I were coaching, especially in college, I feel like if I was at a quote unquote St. Peter's, that I would, being going off of what he just did with St. Peter's, I think he would have more of a pipeline in a sense to where he can get recruits like the ones that aren't being sought after, but probably are actually pretty good. Like they would be willing to go to St. Peter's and and connect.
Good morning, sir.
Now he's going to Seton Hall. Now he's putting himself back in a Shark Tank that he's gonna have to compete with the other teams in the Big East. So
Mm-hmm.
yes, he's being hired from his coaching chops in what he just did, but I'm very sure the people in St. Peter's or the schools, the kids that was looking at schools in or around the same level as St. Peter's are now looking at him like, okay, that might be a good place to play, as opposed to him going to Seton Hall and now he's with saying stomping with the big dogs in the Big East and stuff like that. Now you have to reestablish yourself, and
Mm.
unless I had never heard of him prior to here. Had you?
Who, St. Peter's?
Yeah, St. Peter's or the coach
No,
or Coach
no,
Monk.
but there's a plethora of schools in which you and I,
Well,
Trey,
yeah,
we
true, true,
probably have
true,
not
true, true.
heard. Yeah,
Yeah, well,
yeah, but
that's true talk.
yeah,
That's true. That's real talk. But I'm saying but I'm saying
yeah,
even just a little bit of a buzz.
yeah,
Like if we was
yeah.
to look up,
Right, right.
saying
No, I totally
like
where you come
yeah,
from. Yeah,
we have to look up like to do this. You have to research, and so
right.
prior to this,
Yeah,
you're saying saying
yeah.
I researched college forums and all kind of
Right,
stuff.
right.
Saying to be able to get up and do this in the morning. And so it's like prior to this,
Mhm.
I hadn't heard of him. And that's not a knock or anything like that because
No,
it's cool
no, not at
things. But
all. Not
so
at
I'm
all.
just looking at like to go out there is like yes, saying think about Shakur Smart. We see him
Hmm.
blow up, but he did a couple of years at Wichita State
Hmm.
before he jumped into the Big Ten,
Hmm.
and now he's not there anymore. I
Yeah,
don't know where he's coaching at now. So I'm
right.
just saying that, but I mean, of course, strike while the iron's hot. Like
Facts.
Esteban was saying, is Seton Hall a good place for him?
I'd say so. Well, I remember back in the day, well, it's been a minute since Seton Hall has actually been a force in college basketball. They used to be back in the
Mm-hmm.
day. Seton Hall used to be a force to be reckoned with. So maybe he can go over there, Esteban, and make bring Seton Hall back to its glory days. Because Seton Hall used to be one of those teams used to be in the big dance back in the days. Um, I think they made appearance not too long ago, a couple of years ago, I want to say, in the big tournament. But at one time, Seton Hall was always in the tournament. That was a team to watch coming into the
Mm-hmm.
March Madness. But it's been a minute since they've been like that. But yeah, I think that maybe he can go over there and get that old glory days back and try and get things back on track for Seton Hall. He said in his interviews, hold on, let's put this up real quick. Uh, why my stuff is acting up. He said in his interviews, oh, you got it, Trey? He said in his interviews, his kids are the rough and tough kids that other colleges didn't want. Neighborhood
Mm-hmm.
games for
Expected.
these kids are not like others. Why not keep recruiting these kids to see? I like it.
And
It
so,
makes
but
complete
that's
sense.
what I'm saying. But that's
Yeah.
it does make sense as though that's what I was saying. But I was just looking at it from more of a standpoint of true that he's doing exactly that recruiting, and he's recruited a certain type of kids, uh, and players in
Mm-hmm.
which work for Seton Hall. I mean, work for
Good morning, Freddie.
those players most likely work and can build a culture in a school like St. Peter's. But in Seton Hall, is that going to be the same? Are they going to allow for the certain things, or can he do that? Because we got to think now you're going to the Big East,
Are
a
those
larger
private
conference.
schools?
I don't think
Seton
Seton
Hall,
Hall.
St. Peter's? Are
I'm not
those
sure.
private?
I'm not
Okay, go
sure.
ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But yeah, and so I just think that yes, true enough, you would think that he would continue. What's good, Steve? What's good,
What up,
Freddie?
Steve?
How you doing, Sarah? So you would
Stan,
think
what's
that
good,
yes,
Pratt?
they're going to. You would think like this is my staple for recruiting,
Mm-hmm.
but is it going to work at Seton Hall? Is basically what I'm saying. Like
So don't you feel like he's kind of trying to do the same thing in regards to what Dion's doing for HBCU? Is that the same angle in which he's trying to go? Sounds
I
like to
didn't
me.
see I didn't see the interview, so I wouldn't be
Right.
sure if that's what he saying what his if that's what his rhetoric would if Esteban could give us a little more insight on what he was talking
Good
about
morning,
during his
AP.
interview to let us know if saying what talk is he talking for real? Is he talking about what was his speech or his interview or his conference his his interview or call or conference call or conference where he had as he
Hmm.
announced that he was going to Seton Hall, like what was he saying? Did he give any insight to what he plans to do or what the plan is going to Seton Hall? But I mean, of course, saying we all good fortune, goodwill, saying we say good luck, but that he could go and enter and enact the same type of runs he just put together at why St. Peter's to maybe saying create those same type of players at Seton Hall where he can continue to have success and maybe move on from the Big East into a different conference or maybe even the pros. So that's a good look though.
Yeah,
Definitely a good look.
I
So
fully agree with you.
as we know, Bishop, as
Hmm.
well as the females, I know yesterday we was talking. It was a it was thought that we wasn't giving the ladies. Hopefully, like Shaka Smart. Yeah,
What
possibly.
happened? What you
He's talking
say?
about Shaka Smart. Hopefully, like Shaka Smart, former
Former
coach of
coach
Texas.
expectations
Yeah.
higher. Never take school to a championship.
Mm-hmm.
Hope.
Because and that brings up the fact, like when Shaka got to Texas, he didn't have the same type of success he had at Wichita State. But while he's at Wichita State, he was doing
Appreciate
damage.
you, Esteban. Right.
So and
Right.
that's why I see the same type of situation. Like it's different. Like you you cut yourself and create yourself at those lower level schools.
Mm-hmm.
Like we saying Shaka Smart, he did
Mm-hmm.
damage at Wichita State. He gets to Texas, it's not the same. It wasn't the same, and so that's
And that's
just
what
the
you have.
same thing.
That's what right. And that's what when you go and leave a school and go to another school, it's not
Mm-hmm.
guaranteed that you would have the great or immediate success like you
Mm-hmm.
just came from the school in which you came from. Because for all we know, we don't know how long the coach had been at St. Peter's, so he may have built that team the way they are currently,
Mm-hmm.
that made
Mm-hmm.
it get to the Elite Eight. We don't know. So him going to Seton Hall, it may take some time. He may not get that chance, get those he may not make it to the
He has
big
to build his
dance within.
program. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he got to build that. He got to build that squad, or he could come into a nice, decent squad, and all he has to do is add some, key elements here and there, and he could possibly get him back into the tournament again, back into the tournament. Yeah, again, like in the glory days. Excuse me, but only time will tell. Only time will tell. But that's what I think probably that's probably one of the biggest fears as a coach is going to a team or leaving a team and going to another team to try and recreate what you created where you came from. And with that, it's something that's not going to happen overnight. Like I said, unless you just got some real skilled, talented student athletes who are already there, and you're just implementing your play scheme to where it's fit the dynamics of that team, and you successful with it. So.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. We'll see. But congratulations to him for being the coach for Seton Hall and heading out to the Big East.
And see, he played that, and that's another. He played at Seton Hall.
Oh, okay. Well, right there, that's right there says it all on why he
Yeah,
went
so
there. I mean, he's just like
yeah.
Howard.
Mm-hmm. He played at Seton Hall and actually inducted into the Seton Hall of Fame.
Yeah, so he just like Juwan Howard then.
So he has
He wanted to
connections
pretty
there.
much
So
be. I mean, who wouldn't want to go back to their alma mater or back to their school in which they played or you know went to school at and be able to have the opportunity to coach? Like that's a huge feat, man. That's some people's bucket list, to be able to go back to a school in which you played for and be the coach, whether it's
and
high
be a coach
school
or
or whether
go
it's college.
play in your
Yeah,
hometown or something like
yeah,
that.
especially if it's from your hometown. Now you about to be, you was already if you was one of those people who was well known for your skills on the court or on the field or whatever. Now you back in that same city and state representing as a coach now. Oh man, that's like that's you are a local celebrity in the people eyes of that city and state. So yeah, I get it. Being he went to school there, that makes sense now. That completely makes sense on why he went and why he probably didn't even hesitate about going.
So of course, as we know, basketball is starting to rule the nation at this point, and we don't want to uh, step off from our due diligence in talking about certain things. As we know, the women as well just finished their Elite Eight
Yeah,
round
Barn
last
Burners
night.
last
Oh yeah,
night,
last
boy.
night it was. And it's funny. So it's
They
funny.
did not disappoint. The
It's
women
funny
did
how it
not.
all went down when you think about it, because when you look at the men's side of the brackets, the
Mm-hmm.
men had two good games on had
Saturday.
two good
Right.
games on Saturday, and then
Uh-huh.
blowouts on Sunday.
Yes,
The
Sarah, that
women,
part.
however, had a blowout on Saturday, all right game, and then like you said, two barn burners last night,
Last night,
and
man.
as they went for. So of course on Saturday, number one South Carolina thrashed number 10 Crichton 80-50 to advance to the Final Four. Number
Mm-hmm.
one Stanford defeated number two Texas 59-50 to continue
On
to the Final
Saturday.
Four himself on Saturday.
Right.
So those
Mm-hmm.
games, basically, those were Elite Eight games. Number
Right.
last night, Louisville takes out number three Michigan with a 62-50 win, punching
Mm-hmm.
their ticket for the fourth time to the Final Four. So their fourth straight year in the Final Four. But as we talk about them Huskies
Mm.
and the Wolfpack of North
Boy,
Carolina State, number two
boy,
versus number one, and
boy.
they did not
They did not
disappoint.
disappoint. They did not.
Beckers, you know what? I
They
simply
did
thought
not.
as I was looking at that game, I was like, if Beckers hadn't came back, UConn probably would have been going home, because I don't know
Yeah.
where they was gonna get the points or the intensity from that
Right.
she was playing with last night.
Right. Yeah. She was
But of
she was
course,
hitting on all cylinders last
oh
night.
yeah,
Like she was in the zone.
knockdown, getting to
Yeah,
her
she was in the
spots.
zone. Yeah, she was in the
So
zone.
UConn, number two UConn, bested number one North Carolina State in a double overtime game, winning 91 to
Mm-hmm.
87 to
That
advance to
corner
their
shot for North Carolina
14th.
State, though,
Oh yeah, and you know what? They wish they would have got that shot.
contested,
They wish they would have got that
contested.
shot at the end of regulation, that which would have put them ahead, where they wouldn't we wouldn't probably be having this conversation. But
Right,
it was, and she let it go
bruh.
flawlessly. A lefty.
Flawlessly follow through, full contested, nothing but net,
Of course,
nothing but
now
net.
this marks UConn's 14th, counting
Yeah,
one
they
four,
dominate
14th straight Final Four appearance. As you
appearance. Yep.
have Louisville on their next, the Final Four will be number one Louisville versus number one South Carolina State, and number two UConn versus number one Stanford, which you put UConn,
Three.
correction, number two UConn. So now what you have
Yes.
three number ones
Mm-hmm.
and a number two, but the number two has a total of 22 national championship under
That
their
part.
belt.
That part.
Stanford, their opponent, has four, correction, 15 national championships under their belt, and are also currently the defending NCAA women's basketball champion. You have
Mm-hmm.
Louisville with four championships under their belt, and of course South Carolina, who has been the dominant one in the last couple of years, although dominance does get defeated at times, as they're the number
Mm-hmm.
one overall team, and they have four national championships under their belt. Bishop, with these games, the women's game, especially seeing what happened last night, do you see more of that, or do we get a surprise and someone just gets throttled and it's not even a contest for what we would expect?
No, I think we see more of that, man. I would not be surprised if we see another overtime game between these women. They're playing their hearts out,
Keith say
man. They're leaving it all on the court. They're leaving it
Keith say
all on the
no. Oh
harbor.
yeah, yeah, definitely, yeah, yeah. I
So
see. Yes, yes.
I definitely feel like that we will definitely see a lot of what we just saw last night to continue on, man. The women are definitely putting in that effort to show that the women's game is just as exciting as the men's
That's the
game,
main.
and and they having you on the edge of your seat, man. For those people who are alum and people that have gone to these schools, I'm sure they pretty much about to lose all their hair, nail biting, trying to figure out who's gonna come out on top and get the win for their school. But last night, like you said, man, those games, you just you feel for the team that lost, man, because they gave everything. They gave they all to try and get the dub, and a couple of teams just came up short, man. Came up short, especially
So
that number 2 over that number 1. That was huge.
so at this point, you have Louisville versus South Carolina and UConn versus Stanford. Who are you taking? Who you got? What you thinking? What does
I
your
got
crystal ball
UConn
say?
over Stanford. I got
Mm.
UConn over Stanford. And I'm taking, you know what? I'm taking Louisville, bro.
What?
Yeah,
Louisville to
I'm
knock
taking.
off the proverbial dominant team in women's basketball? Take out
Yeah,
South Carolina?
yeah. I think Louisville gonna shock the world and take out South Carolina. Yeah,
I
that's
won't.
who I got. UConn and South Carolina. I mean UConn and Louisville in the finals.
Okay. I think I want to stay with and see that's definitely where we go opposites. I'm going to bless you, bro.
Thank you.
I'm going to go with South Carolina. I think they
Okay.
continue to. They probably not going to blow out or run over by 30 points, but I think they're going to take care of business. South Carolina, and I'm going to go with a hometown bias, a home state bias.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to admit I'm going to be biased in this one, and I'm going to stay with the defending champions, Stanford and
Mm.
Stanford.
Oh,
I was gracious.
You think Stanford gonna repeat?
No, I don't think they're going to repeat. I'm not going to say that
Oh,
yet.
okay. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, we ain't picking that yet, but you got them going back.
I think Stanford has enough to get back there, knock off UConn, and get back there and have another
Okay, Key, I
situation.
see you. You and Connor in South Carolina in the finals.
You got it half right, Key, half right, halfway there.
Nah, yeah, you got to have right. UConn, the SC party, man. Boston is so good. Yeah, yeah. It's gonna be a good one, man. When do they play? When is their final game?
The
It's
night
after the
after
men's, huh?
Tuesday night.
Next Tuesday.
Yeah, next Tuesday. So
Oh,
the men
oh,
play next Monday, and the women play on Tuesday, I believe.
okay, okay,
So we look
okay.
forward to catching both of those, of course, as we
Yeah,
see
almost there.
how
Almost
it
there.
goes down as we come close. Just a week or so away
That's it. From
from
crowning the
crowning
champion, men
the
and
new
women.
champion. Well, one of them was going to definitely be a new champion. The other, Stanford has the opportunity to defend their crown
Mm-hmm.
and go
Mm-hmm.
back to back.
Back to back. That's right. You're right about that.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so definitely Friday. Oh, Friday for the girls. Key says.
Oh, it's
Well, no,
Friday.
yeah, that's this. I'm talking about the championship game, Key. I think the championship
Yeah,
game
because
is
I think
Tuesday.
yeah. I'm talking about the final.
I know they play this. I know they play Friday for the
Yeah, because the men play Saturday.
hmm
Yeah. Okay.
So
Lego,
some
Lego.
bad news, of course, again. And I know this is. I know you finna shots fired, but LeBron James is doubtful for tonight's game
Mm,
versus
mm,
he's doubtful.
mm, mm.
Do you think? Do you
Man.
think? Do you think the Lakers need LeBron to defeat Dallas and Luca?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Y'all just talking. Won't let
We
y'all
just
just talk
talking,
about
man.
Luca. You gonna say, do they need a bro? Oh
It's
yes,
like
they
basically he's the same person almost to a
do.
degree. Like hell yeah, you
Yeah.
need him.
Yes. Yeah.
I believe in them. I think AD potentially can play, although it said it's doubtful that AD and LeBron will both miss tonight's game. Uh,
Mm. Yeah, Key. They definitely need LeBron against Luca and them.
they're
Like
applying
in
pressure.
Dallas too? Man, come on.
They're applying
In
pressure.
Dallas? Yeah.
But in any case, we'll see. As we
Ooh.
take a look at in the recap, what's say Lakers fans need to cheer for Dallas to end the season. No, guy, we're not doing that, Anthony. We're not
Lakers
doing that.
fans need to cheer for Dallas to end.
What we will do, we will talk about this game in which this Bishop coined one of the toilet bowl games of last night. The Oklahoma City Thunder took on the Portland Trailblazers at home in Oregon as the Thunder were victorious 134-131 in overtime, scoring 19 points to get the dub in overtime. Thunder were led by 30 points by Isaiah Roby, 23 points from Theo Maldadon, 28 points from Aaron Wiggins, 11 points and 12 points additionally from Sar and Lindy Waters. The Trailblazers, although they did play but didn't do enough, 28 points from Ben McLemore, 25 points from Brandon Williams, 27 points from Drew Eubanks, 10 points apiece from Kevin Blevins and Chris Dunn, but it just was enough. The Oklahoma City Thunder improved to 22-43, while the Trailblazers dropped to 27-48 as they look as is I think 7 or 8 games left in the season. As you look, LeBron was see the hate. Y'all guys, you know what? Just wait. Just wait.
Hey,
I
y'all,
believe, I believe, I
I
believe, I
would have
believe.
been good. I'd have been good. I mean, y'all remember, for those that watched the show yesterday, I allowed Trey to pick this game, and whatever team he picked, that's the team I ended up picking. So he picked the Trailblazers, and that's how I ended up losing this game, because I picked exactly what he picked. I said, whatever pick you pick, whoever you pick, Trey, that's who I'm picking. He said, I'm going with the Trailblazers. I should have picked on my own and went with OKC
You
like I
probably would have
thought.
went with the Trailblazers anyway. See how people try to create narratives.
I'm just saying, are the bad teams winning, or are the good teams don't care who wins since the season is almost over? Good question, Anthony Price. Good question. I just think, man, to me, the NBA this season is a lot like how the NFL was, man. You just really don't know who's going to come out on top and who's going to win certain games when it comes down to it. In regards to these games, man, because it's just some of these games, you're in shock, and I just feel like, any given day of the week, a team is liable to win, man. We've seen the Lakers lose to some teams that they shouldn't have lost to. We've seen the Nets lose to some teams they shouldn't have lost to. We've seen the Sixers
And
lose
probably
to
lose some
teams,
games. And probably win some games they shouldn't have won either.
and be that too. You know what I'm saying? It's games that you just don't expect to see. So I don't really feel as though AP that bad teams are just winning. They it's their night. They the ball is falling right for them. The ball is going in the hole for them, and it is what it is. And some for some of these good teams, so Boston other night, we saw they took
Yeah.
or last night. I'm sorry, last night Boston lost to the Raptors.
Toronto Raptors, yeah.
Nobody saw that coming. Especially the way Boston
Actually,
has
I
been
did.
playing.
I
He
did.
did call that one. That's
Yeah.
the one game he did call right. He is right
We
about
did
that.
hold up. We're not gonna act like I didn't get not a single game right last
No,
night. Like
no.
that's not what we gonna act like. I didn't go and look, but I know I got more than one game, but more than a couple
I
of
think
games
he was.
right
Hey,
last
I
night.
don't think he was 500 though, Trey. That's the thing
I
I'm
should have
saying.
been. I'll
I don't
take a
think he
look
was
at it. I
500.
should have.
I
I'm very
don't think
sure.
he was 500, bro. Because you bet against a lot of games against me. To be honest.
I
As a
took go.
matter of fact, let me help y'all out, man. So Trey did win it. No, he didn't win that. He lost that one too. I'm finna tell you the games. Trey picked the Warriors. They
Yes, I
lost.
did.
Trey picked the Bulls. They lost.
I did.
Trey picked the Hornets. They lost.
True.
I think
I picked. That was it.
that
Oh, I
was
took
it.
Houston. I think I took Houston.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There go Houston. He took Houston too because he said the Young Guns. Because I
Yeah,
almost picked
one
Houston too.
game. So I was one game.
Under 500, right?
One game over. Oh no, because I also lost.
Yeah, you lost one. You lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right?
I lost Portland. I lost Golden State. I lost.
Bulls,
Yeah, the Bulls. Who did the Bulls play last night?
Knicks,
New York. I lost the Cleveland game
and the Rockets game.
and the Rockets game. Who did Miami play last night?
The Kings.
Oh, of course I chose Miami. Okay, maybe.
Yeah.
In any case, it makes no difference.
As I stated, I'm sure he was a little. If he made 500, so be it. But yeah, But back to the the question at hand. Yeah, Anthony, these games are what they are, man. I will say that these games are exciting to watch because you just don't know again who's gonna win these games. It was but a 9 game slate last night. I went 7-2, and like I said, that toilet bowl game, I didn't know who that was just a toss up who was going to win that game. And then I am surprised that the Raptors got an overtime win over the Celtics, but they did play at home, so it's expected in a way. But the Boston Celtics, we talked about the Phoenix Suns. There are teams out there, the Grizzlies, who are playing phenomenal ball right now. They're gelling at the right time. And, it's about to be the play in. People trying to make that run for the play in or get out of the play in and stay, you will not have to play in the play in, or some are just trying to make the playoffs, period. So
What
it is
it's
what it
funny that
is.
you talk about a team potentially gelling at the right time, as the Chicago Bulls, as we stated, traveled to New York in Madison Square Garden to take on the New York Knicks, in which the Knicks are on the outside looking in, but they're starting to look a picture is starting to form for them, as they were able to defeat the Bulls 109 to 104, improving to 34 and 42, with also improving their chances on getting to the play in. The Bulls, now 43 and 32, were led by DeMar DeRozan's 37 points, 6 rebounds, and 7 assists, but just couldn't make it happen. 16 points and 13 assists from Nikola Vucevic, 10 points from Dasim Ninu. It just couldn't happen, as the Knicks were led by your man R.J. Barrett, one
RJ the
half of
lefties.
the lefty duel, 28 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 27 points, 3 rebounds, and 6 assists from Alec Burke, as he again makes has an impact on the game. As we know, night before last, he was key in the defensive stop of Kay Cunningham to secure the win. Last night, his 27 points and dagger three kept the Knicks alive. And then, of course, 17 points, 2 rebounds, and no assists from Obi Toppin, as the Knicks continue to trying to get into the play in. Hold on, I couldn't see the comment. That's okay. You might be broke, Anthony, but I might still be out there. So no, don't listen to me. Don't listen to me. That's cool.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
funny.
Matter
That's
of fact,
funny,
you know
man.
what I want to do? I've been
What's
picking
up?
with my heart. I've been picking with my heart, or saying my
Mm,
likes. I'm going to ensure that I pick. All my picks are based off of factual and analysis, as opposed to better
mm,
with going with my heart. So just wait.
mm.
So I can show y'all, saying, real, no cap, the ability
No
to
cap.
pick, no cap.
Okay.
So the
We got
rest of
what? I
for the
think we
rest
got
these
what we
next
got. How
seven,
many
eight
games?
games.
Yeah, I think we got what, 9 games, 7 games tonight. What? How
Yeah.
many we got?
So we
Five. Two,
so of
four,
course
five. Yeah.
so
All
of
right.
course last night, Bishop, what I did not expect, and these dudes, I don't know if this is it a sense of just these teams playing without, or what it is, but the Memphis Grizzlies are the real deal, are they not?
Bro, I've been trying to tell y'all, man. I've been trying to tell people, man. Y'all do not. People is everybody is overshadowed, or a lot of people overshadowed about the fact of Ja Morant in Memphis. But
Mm-hmm.
as you can see, Memphis can play ball. They're playing ball
18
without.
and
They're
2,
winning these
bro.
games without Ja even on the court,
18 and
and
2
they're
without
blowing people out.
without Ja.
Yeah, they're doing their thing, bro. Like Ja is like he's an added addition, but these Memphis Grizzlies are a force, bro. They are a team to definitely be worried about.
The
Definitely
Memphis
to be worried
Grizzlies
about.
took on the Golden State Warriors in Memphis last night with a hell of a win, 123 to 95, as they improved to 53 and 23 on the season. 48-28 for the Warriors now. The Warriors were led by Jordan Pools, 25 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists. 18 points from Moses Moody, 15 points from Jonathan Kaminga, 10 points from Andrew Wiggins, as Clay, Draymond, nor Steph were available for the game. He did not play. On the opposite side of the court, the bench, the Grizzlies were led by 22 points from Desmond Bain, as he continues to do most of the lifting for the Grizzly team, as they were without their superstar Ja Morant and key role players in Jared Jackson Jr. 13 points from Kyle Anderson, 21 points from Dylan Brooks as he's back, and 12 points from Brandon Clark. And then, of course, 21 points from Anthony Melton as the Grizzlies continue to hold on to their number two ranking, number two seeding. And you know what? When you look at it, Bishop, like you said, they're 53, right? Got 53 wins, and we say they're dominant, but look at Phoenix. Phoenix is like 61 games,
Mm-hmm.
61 W's at this point on their
Mm-hmm.
on their notch under their belt, and don't look like they're slowing down anytime soon,
Mm-hmm.
uh, unless they run into a buzzsaw in the playoffs. But right now, for the regular season, they are completely doing damage. So when it's the comparison is like you would think that Phoenix is just completely and utterly dominant in the NBA right now. But as we say, you got about less than 10 games until the regular season begins. I mean
Mm-hmm.
ends, and
Mm-hmm.
we get to see more tournament type basketball, and of course that's everything really comes out. Um, Additionally, the Boston Celtics, as Bishop was just talking about, took on the Toronto Raptors up in Canada. Uh, OT game was the ending, and Toronto was victorious, winning 115 to 112, led by 40 points from Pascal Siakam, 12 points apiece from Trent Jr. and Thaddeus Young, 14 points from OG Barnes, 10 points, Scotty Barnes, 10 points, and then 14 points from Fred Van Fleet. Of course, Bishop, let me know, do you think it made a difference? The Boston Celtics played without their superstar duo in
Absolutely.
Tatum and Brown, in which Marcus Smart was
Absolutely.
their leading scorer, 28 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists, 15 points from Derek White, 10 points apiece from Pritchard and Hauser, 13 points from Naismith. Grant Williams contributed with 17 points, and Theis contributed with 13 points, 10 rebounds, and 2 assists. And like we said, no Jaylen Brown, no Tatum, no Williams, as and to only lose by 3 points is a fair assumption that that was the reason. Would you say?
Absolutely, man. Like, come on, man. Tatum and Brown was not there. That's huge contributors to the game, and they went in overtime with him and lost by 3. Like,
Mm.
you know Tatum and Brown is going to definitely put them points up to get them over the top. So that's like 20, 30 points. If probably not more, it's more like 40 to 50 points between the two of them. And this game is totally blown out the water. But I mean, it is what it is. You know, Boston got to rest their players, got to rest their stars, got to give them opportunity as well to get a break and stuff like that. Because you definitely what you don't want to do right now. Right now would be a horrible time for you to have any of your key players or any players at all, especially that's key
Especially
to
at this
get
point.
at this point. You do not want no injuries. And I think I've
And
seen for
hence,
the
like
past
what
few.
Key, yeah,
I was about
like
to
what
say
Key
for the
has up
past
now,
few,
yeah.
right. What I think I've seen for the past few nights, bro, is ankles being turned because of people falling, coming down on somebody else's foot. I think I've seen it in 3 nights in a row that
Mm-hmm.
somebody turned their ankle coming down on somebody else's foot. So those
Of
good
course,
things
matter
are
of fact,
when
to point that out, of course, to get right quick to Key's comment. Last night, the San Antonio Spurs traveled to
they won
Houston
last
up
night.
in
Yeah.
St. Cross to get the W in Houston, winning
Mm-hmm.
123 to
Where
120,
we going this
led
weekend? Yep.
led by Devontae Murray, 33 points, 7 rebounds, 11 assists, 13 points from Zach Collins, 21 points from Keldon Johnson, 17 points from Jakob Paito as he caught a couple of bodies. He got bodied a couple times last night, but didn't make a difference.
He
17
did.
points, 13 rebounds,
You
0
see that
assists.
dunk?
Yeah, by Jalen Green, but and
Oh, wait,
but I guess
boy,
he got but
poster.
he got the last laugh as they get the W. The
Right.
Rockets 30 points from Jalen Green, 26 points from Kevin Porter Jr., 20 points from Josh Christopher, 10 points for Jashawn Tate, but again, it just wasn't enough. In which now the
Mm-hmm.
Spurs are in prime position to
To
potentially
take
over.
over
They're a half game behind the Lakers, in which
the
the Lakers
Lakers
tonight played the Dallas Mavericks
without
without
LeBron.
LeBron and AD.
Ooh.
So just in what Key was talking about is
Can Westbrook hold him
potentially.
down?
I
Can
would hope
Westbrook
Westbrook
hold him?
does. This is his time, Deshaun. This is his
It
time,
is.
Deshaun.
It absolutely
This is
is.
he gotta do work, you know what I'm saying,
If
do
he want,
damage.
if he want to shut up all the naysayers, he want everybody to get off of his case. If he want to shut up all the analysts, if he want to shut up the whole country in regards to his gameplay, tonight is the night to do it against a full pack stage. You're not going against no slouch team.
Hmm.
If Russell Westbrook want to prove his value, tonight is night to do it. Tonight is that night.
Hmm.
Can the San Antonio Spurs take the number of T? They can. As Trey said,
Yeah,
they
they can.
have a game behind with the
All
Spurs
they have to do is
with the
lose.
Lakers playing tonight. Yeah, with the Lakers playing tonight without AD and LeBron tonight. At the end of the night, the Lakers could be out and the San Antonio Spurs could be in. Just
uh,
saying.
Additionally, last night, your man
Who?
Trey Ice Young.
Ice Trey. Boom.
Oh man, here we go.
Soon. You already know Ice Trey
Trey
just threw
Young
one
last
in.
night, 132 to 123, over the Indiana Pacers in their on their home court. Young 20 Young 14 points, 3 rebounds, 16 assists, 29 points from Bogdan Bogdanovic, 12 points Jalen Johnson, 22 points from Kevin Huerter, uh, Clint Capella 15 rebounds, 22 points, 3 assists, as the Pacers were not able to keep up with Atlanta last night, dropping to 25 and 51. Of course, they were led by Tyrese Halliburton, 25 points, 13 assists, 3 rebounds, 26 points from Buddy Hield with 4 rebounds and 5 assists to go along. Uh, as we get closer, Atlanta continues to get closer, trying to do their impersonation of the we was just talking about of the not Saints, of the Spurs, as they try to get into or stay put in the play in. All you got to do is be faster than the slowest man, and at this point, that's exactly what they're doing. Other games last night, 2 other games in which was played last night. The Orlando Magic took on the Cleveland Cavaliers, in which Cleveland
Mm.
was victorious 107-101. Another game in which Bishop, like he was just talking about the ankle injuries, in which both of the Cleveland Cavaliers big men, Laurie
Two went down.
Marketing and Evan Mobley both went out with in injuries. Well, Mobley's was an ankle. Markkanen's was a knee injury, but he
Mm-hmm.
came back and was able to help to wield the team to a victory. Cavaliers led by Darius Garland's 25 points, 3 rebounds, 12 assists. Markkanen's 20 points, 3 rebounds, 19 points from Kevin Love, and 11 from Okoro, as they were victorious. Magic was led by 15 points for Wendell Carter Jr., 13, correction, 11 apiece from Mo Bamba and Cole Anthony, 15 and 10 points from Franz Wagner, 10 points, 3 rebounds, 6 assists, and his brother 2 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. Orlando just couldn't get it done as they dropped to 20 and 56. The Cavaliers improved to 42 and 33, as currently they are potentially looking at losing their 6 seed and dropping into the play in if they were to lose another game. So the play in is doing exactly what it was designed to do, provide drama as the season closes. And of course, the last game, Jokic doing what Jokic does, getting his triple double, as the Hornets. If I had looked at seen this, I would not have picked this. The Hornets are 1-13 when it comes to back games. So,
Ooh.
of course, last night they didn't disappoint. 113 to 109 with Denver getting the dub in Charlotte. Um, as you said, Jokic 26-point triple double with 26 points, 19 rebounds, 11 assists, 21 points for Aaron Gordon, 18 points for Will Barton, 14 points for Monte Morris. Um, correction. LaMelo Balls, 22 points, 6 rebounds, 11 assists was not enough. Bridges, 27 points, 11 rebounds, 12 points apiece from Terry Rozier and Kelly Oubre. And then Isaiah Thomas, 12 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. But it just wasn't enough. They can have enough gas to take out Jokic as he continues to his assault on trying to get another uh, MVP trophy, as he is now sitting at third with 19 triple doubles on the year. I don't foresee a situation where he's going to break the record, which is held by Wilt Chamberlain at 31. Actually, Wilt Chamberlain is the only person ahead of him with two stints with being having the most triple doubles in the season as a center, as a big man with 21 and 31 at this time. At this point, 22 and 31. At this point, Jokic sits at 19 for the year. Uh, so yeah, let me see what this comment was. Someone cracking jokes, huh? Um, I don't blame Westbrook or blame AD. He's supposed to be the number two, and well, it goes that way, Anthony. It's unfortunate. What we can say and what we can say and will say is that that we can't it can't help injuries. But with all the technology and all the different things which is around this point, you would think that they would or do have something to help out AD to stop him from the injuries. But sometimes I'm very sure sometimes it be stuff that's not the most comfortable. So I would hope what ends up happening for him is that he ends up that he ends up coming back strong, finishing strong, and provides a boost or a spark to where the team starts playing and clicking, and we at least punch and kick somebody. Even if we don't get all the wins, I'm as long as we go down fighting. Because at this point, as y'all was listening, if you was listening yesterday, all the jokes and the disrespect that the Lakers got, as it was talking about, is horrible to watch them. I'm very sure they feel the pain, but I do think that we would be able to make a comeback and be able to fall back in to what our greatness is. Of course, when you look at it, tonight's games is slated. We have a 5-game slate, as we talked about, with the Chicago Bulls taking on the Wizards in Washington, the Milwaukee Bucks taking on the Philadelphia 76ers in Philly. The Los Angeles Lakers traveling to Dallas to do battle with Luka Doncic and the Mavericks. The Detroit Pistons will head over to to Brooklyn to take on the Nets with Kyrie, as Kyrie's back. It wasn't a great outing last game, but he's back. And then, of course, the Utah Jazz will be traveling to LA to take on the Los Angeles Clippers at the crypto.com arena. So all those things look forward to. If I was to say, as I said, I would pick with no emotion whatsoever outside of an analyst. I I see Chicago getting their win and breaking their losing streak. I I see the 76ers taking the L and losing to the Bucks. Oh, correction, and yeah, losing to the Bucks. I see the Pistons taking the L and losing to Brooklyn. The Mavericks, I see defeating the Lakers, and the
What?
Clippers will. Uh, that's a hard one. I think the Clippers lose to the Jazz tonight as well.
All right, so I'm taking the Bulls. I'm
Mm-hmm.
taking the game of the night is the 76ers and the Bucks for sure. That is definitely the game. And then the second game of the night is the Lakers and the Mavs. Um, so I'm taking the Bulls. I'm taking the Nets. Golly, that Jazz and Clippers game. Uh, I think I'm gonna take. I'm gonna take the Jazz. I'm gonna take the Jazz. I'm gonna take the Jazz on the
Mm-hmm.
road. I think the Jazz gonna pull an upset versus the Clips.
Mm-hmm.
That Laker game. You know what? Until the Lakers prove me wrong, I'm taking Mavericks, man. I'm taking the Mavs. So I'm taking the Mavericks. So Bulls, Mavs, Nets, Jazz, and then this Bucks Sixers game. Good lord, on Philly's court.
Mm.
Mm. I'm going with the Bucks, man. I gotta go with the Fear the Deer, man. I gotta go with
Fear
Fear
the
the Deer,
deer.
bro. Yeah, Trey, I gotta go with Fear the Deer, man. I mean, it's definitely gonna be it's gonna be the game. Like I said, the game of the night outside of the Lakers and the Mavs. Definitely gonna be the game of the night. But man, yeah, that's too big. We got Battle of Godzilla and Rampage.
He said across the rampage.
Yeah, you know the movie Rampage.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when it was Joker and Joker and Beat, I said I think Godzilla and King Kong. So
Mm-hmm.
this one's got to be Rampage and Godzilla.
So of course, with that, as y'all know, quick recap of what the playoff picture would look like right now if
Mhm.
if the season was starting. Um, in the West, we would have the Los Angeles Lakers sitting at the 10 seed, taking on the New Orleans Pelicans in the 9 seed. Of course, that winner would go to the next round to wait for the loser of what was 7 seed Minnesota Timberwolves against the number 8 Los Angeles Clippers. That winner, loser of that game would go on to play the winner of the 9-10 seed
AP, that's right.
as True James Harden. True that. Of course, and then the number 2 seed will take on the winner of the 7 8 seed game between the Minnesota and the Clippers, while the number 1 seed Phoenix Suns will wait to see who wins in the last of the playing games. Number 3 Golden State Warriors will take on number 6 Golden Denver Nuggets, and of course, lastly, the number 4 Dallas Mavericks will take on the number 5 Utah Jazz. In the East, the number 9 Charlotte Hornets will take on the number 10 seeded Atlanta Hawks. Of course, as stated just like before, the number 10 seed, the winner of that game will go and wait for the loser of the number 8 seeded Brooklyn Nets and number 7 seeded Cleveland Cavaliers, as the winner of that game will go on to play against the number 2 seed 76ers, and the winner as the loser of that game goes and plays against the winner of the 9-10 seed, with the playing for an opportunity to go and play against the number 1 seeded Miami Heat. The other 2 game series, number 4 Boston Celtics will take on the number 5 Chicago Bulls, and the number 3 Milwaukee Bucks will battle against the number 6 Toronto Raptors if the season was to end and we get ready
Today.
for yes, and we was getting ready. So that is interesting when you look at that. Those are some interesting matchups when you look at it too, in which I don't know. When you look at how teams have been playing now, you almost can be like, yeah, I see this is going to go like this, that, the third. My biggest fear in these matchups is the 9 and 10 seed is in the West at this point. Um,
Mhm.
I even fear for your the 7 and 8 seed in the East. Well,
Oh yeah.
I did at one point, but I think y'all with Mobley out, I think y'all would have
Oh yeah.
y'all's
That which
chances
was
are a lot.
huge. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that's a
Mobley
lot
going down.
better
That was
now.
yeah.
Yeah, to
Yeah.
where
That
y'all
was
could
big.
probably actually get into to be the 7 seed. But then that puts y'all against the 76ers for a 7 game series
I know. I know. I
without a
know.
Ben Simmons.
Yeah. 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 That worries me. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a bit nervous in the service for that. But hopefully, things that we still got to, like you say, what, 8 games left? 9 games? What is it? 8 or 9 games left, I think.
I
Um,
think 7 to 8 9 games left.
okay, for the season. So yeah, I'm hoping for the best, man.
Mm.
I'm
So
hoping
let me
for the
see.
best.
Actually, let me see. Y'all game. Y'all actually have.
Let me
Let me
see.
see.
We don't play tonight. Oh yeah, we do. We play tonight. We get this win in Boston. I mean, in at home, it'll be good.
Y'all got 7 games left. Y'all 4 games. Y'all 4 games out of the 6 seed with 7 games left.
We're 4 games out of the 6 seed.
Yeah, 4 games out from the 6 seed with 7 games left.
Oh, and we play tonight, and then we play. Oof, we got Milwaukee on Thursday. Good lord, at home though. We got Milwaukee. We got Philadelphia on Thursday, and then on Friday, do we have him? We don't play on Friday. Saturday, we got the Hawks in Atlanta. Golly. Sunday, uh, we don't play Sunday, or do we? Hold on. Yeah, we don't play. Yeah, we don't play Sunday. Then we play again on Tuesday against the Rockets. Okay, and then Wednesday we play the Knicks. Man, I think that's 4 games we could possibly win. And then Thursday we play. No, Thursday we don't play. And Friday the 8th we play the Cavs at home. And then Saturday the 9th we don't play. And then Sunday the 10th we don't play. And then so we don't play again until the then we play we do play the 10th. The Pacers. Okay, so we we definitely we definitely can win the majority of these games. There's a couple of games on there, Atlanta game, the Bucks game, that we may be a little concerned about. Even the Knicks, the way the Knicks win any game after what we were just talking about not too long ago with Anthony, man.
Oh
Any
wow!
game.
You know what? I didn't realize that Philly in the Philly Milwaukee game, the winner of that game can take the number one seed.
Oh, tonight?
Yeah, because
Oh,
they're well, correction, no, yeah, 47 or a half game, be a half game out.
who's won right now?
Miami's the one right now at 48-28, but Philadelphia and Milwaukee are both 46-28. So there'll be a half game.
Behind.
There'll be a half game behind the
It
number
depending
one
on who
seed.
wins. Yeah,
And
depending on who wins.
Boston,
Right.
Boston is 47-29, and they're a half game back. So all the 2 through 4 are a game behind Miami for the number one seed.
Oh, so yeah, so those three. But so it's Miami.
Miami, Philadelphia, Milwaukee, and Boston.
Oh, them four right there can be interchangeable within
Mm-hmm.
just days.
Yeah, and then you
They
got
can switch around. Yeah.
Chicago and Toronto are 4.5 games back from them,
Mm,
and then Cleveland is 5.5 games. So no, truthfully, 1 through 7 can change with it in a
absolutely.
blink of an eye. Then you talk
In the
about you
East,
got seven
yeah,
games, you got 7 games left,
left.
and
Yep. All that could be
yeah,
switched around.
yeah, all that can change in a blink of an eye, where you might
Yeah.
have a whole different setup by the end of the season. So that's
Facts.
interesting. Of course, in the West, it's not even close. Um,
Yeah, because Phoenix is running away with that.
yeah, Phoenix is up 8.5 games with
Okay.
6 games left from Memphis, so they're not going to catch Phoenix. Phoenix, of course, like you said, they already clinched. They already got the
Yeah, they're
overall,
yeah.
throughout the playoffs. The Minnesota Timberwolves are 2 games behind Denver for the the sixth spot. So I mean, that's depending on how that goes. That's a possibility. As we said, the Lakers are a half a game ahead of the Spurs for the 10th spot, and then only 4.5 games ahead of Portland. If Portland wanted to go on a winning streak, if they was able to string some wins together, even Sacramento or Portland or San Antonio can catch the Lakers at this point.
Okay.
And San Antonio owns the tiebreaker. LA is half a game behind the Pelicans, 4.5
Mm-hmm.
games behind the Clippers. So even the Lakers have a chance to get into the eighth spot for the most part. in which they would have to play Minnesota or Denver if that was the case. So some more basketball to be played still. Probably could end, saying a very dramatic season. Probably could potentially end. Um,
You think so?
yeah,
Do you?
yeah,
So we know the West is not going to change.
yeah.
Who do you see in the East
Ooh,
topping out by the end of these 7 games? Who do you see as the top three? Let's say just the top
top
three.
three.
Yeah, we won't say this. The rest of them. We say the top three.
Based on how they've been playing, bruh,
Mm-hmm.
I think Boston could get back to the top.
Okay, I like it.
I,
I like
yeah,
that.
Boston.
I can see that.
That would be
I
my.
can see that.
I guess they tried to give him a rest last night, but had Boston won last night,
Mm-hmm. They would already be in the one, huh? Because
they
they was
would
a
or
half, they half a
they would
game.
be yeah they would be in the one, or they would be
Right.
or they would be tied for the one for the number one
For
seed.
one. Mm-hmm. Because
Had
that's
they
right.
won
Because you
last night.
said it.
Hmm.
Right.
Had they
That's right.
won last night, they would have. So I guess they needed to rest. I know Patrick Williams is injured, so that's why he was out. But uh, if they had Jalen and Tatum has played last night,
Mm-hmm.
they would have. They definitely would have put themselves in position to be at least even the one seed or tied for the one seed.
Mm-hmm.
And then Toronto would have put themselves back a couple of game from Cleveland being able to catch them. So,
Yeah.
but I would say Boston would be the one, and then I think it would still go in succession: Miami two, Philly three, and Milwaukee four.
Okay. Oh, you still keep Miami in there, huh?
Yeah, I think yeah, like they've been for the most for the latter half of the season, they've been the number one seed. But of course, you see Milwaukee, Philadelphia, and Boston is gaining on them. Like we said, Boston went on a winning spree, uh,
Mm-hmm.
winning 20 over 25 of their last 30 games. So that has been helpful to them, of course. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I would still keep Miami in there at least for the regular
So
season.
So for me, I definitely agree with you. I definitely feel like Boston could take over the number one if the season was in the 7 games that's left. I feel Boston could definitely do that. Like you said, last night Boston pretty much showed that if Brown or Tatum would have been in that game, the Raptors definitely wouldn't have won that game. So I definitely got them at 1. Now in regards to this 2 spot, unfortunately, I don't agree with you
Hmm.
in regards to Miami keeping that second spot. For me, I feel like Miami has some underlying issues, and I feel like they're not hitting
Things in
on
the
all
armor.
cylinders. Yeah, I think their armor has been penetrated, and that they've showed their hand, and I feel like they're gonna fall.
Mm,
I feel like or Milwaukee or the Philly is going to either take over the second spot. If I had to pick, and tonight is a big night, like you said, for that game between Milwaukee and the
Philadelphia.
Sixers. Yeah,
Hmm.
I would put Milwaukee at 2 and
Mm.
Philly at 3, dropping Miami at 4. In my
Ooh, that's a large
yeah,
drop.
yeah, in
That's
my
a
opinion. If
tournament.
after
So
7 games, of course, this is after 7 games have been played.
and so when you say that, I hear it. I don't know if it's a situation where it's like it's a gut wrenching because you go from being the number one seed for the majority of the time frame and you drop to a 4, which puts you in the middle of the pack. But
Hmm.
but tell me, riddle me this: if I was the number one seed, which means I actually probably had some pretty good games and was able to string along a winning culture,
Hmm.
would I be fearful if I had to go to the middle of the pack to play against a team?
As the number one,
Yeah. As I what so if I was the number one, like you said, Miami, and then they drop down to number 4, which puts them
okay,
against maybe a Chicago or something like that. Am
right?
I fearful of that really?
As a
Because
as a Miami team or as a Chicago
yeah,
team?
as a Miami team. Am I fearful of that really? Like I was the number one team for the majority of the season. Then we had a
Mhm,
couple of hiccups here. Like, am I
mhm.
really fearful that I'm going now? I'm the number 14. Like I could attest, or I would be sure that, and we could see that your seeding doesn't always reflect
Who you are
your
as a
talent.
team.
Yeah, who
Right,
you are as a
right.
team. So maybe
Right.
I might prefer that. Maybe I get, you know what I'm saying, it doesn't. I was about to say
Can it put a
as a
cloak over you as a team to make you a underdog? I do believe that. Yeah.
exactly, that's what I was about to. Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
getting at. Like
Yeah.
I would like to, like, you know what? Okay, I
Let's let
playing
them
against
sleep on us.
Chicago.
Yeah. Oh
Like
yeah.
it's like
Oh
that.
yeah.
Okay, no, I'm not playing against Atlanta or Charlotte, but you know what I'm saying,
Right.
or even Brooklyn. But those can be potential bad matchups for me.
Right.
So
Right.
I'm cool with going to the middle of the pack and fighting
And with that,
and competing
and
out.
with that though, do you think Trey? Now that you brought that up, because I've had this in my mind a few
Hmm.
times, and even this even happens in pretty much in all sports. But do you feel like as a coach, Trey, if you're the coach of the Miami Heat, right, and you drop from you go off of what I just told you, you drop from number 1 to number 4
Hmm.
as a coach, are you more comfortable with that? Being
Mm.
that now, because like we know in football, sometimes you lose game. People feel as though some teams lose games so they can win in the draft, get a better draft pick. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? That's in basketball, that's in football, that's in all sports, because the worst team gets the first pick, of course, get first pick of the litter. So, do you, as a coach, as Eric Spoelstra, if you was in his position, you going from 1 to 4, are you upset that you went from 1 to 4? Are you really excited and happy because of that cloak? Maybe saying, "Oh, now we're playing such and such. Um, now we're playing New Jersey or the Knicks. Now we're playing the Knicks instead of
Hmm.
having to play
Brooklyn
Milwaukee
or
or
Brooklyn, yeah,
Brooklyn or the
or Philly or
76ers."
somebody, yeah,
Yeah, yes. You know what I'm saying? As a
yeah. So
coach.
and yeah, because definitely I think is without a doubt, if you look at it right now, if it was the way the old season was, as Miami, you will be playing against the Brooklyn Nets.
Mhm.
True, you don't have a Ben Simmons, but what if a Ben Simmons come back
During that
in
time
that
frame.
series? Yeah,
Mhm.
so now you gotta contend with um, KD, Ben, and Kyrie in the first
Right.
round. Even though they're 8 seed, but you got to contend with them. It might take 2 or 3 games for them. All they got to do is get it right at some point in the series.
That's it. That's
So
it.
you don't you maybe you don't want to face that.
What
But
up, JP?
if I'm going against a Chicago or a Toronto because I've dropped to the 6 seed or something like that or the 3 seed, that might be the better matchup for me. In which I could get
Right.
my, you know what I'm saying, and allow someone else to deal with that other stuff to
Mhm.
where it's like, okay, we have now we're back in the sense of we're playing ball again. Like, okay, we just exit the regular season. Now the juices are going for the playoffs, the postseason, and we're ready to go. So,
Or even so, more so, even so, Trey, to think of it as allowing another team to wear that team down. So when you
hmm,
do have to face them, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Or God forbid some injuries happen during the playoff. Now you may not end up playing a full team because of unfortunate circumstances because of an injury of a key player. You
correct,
know what I'm
yeah,
saying? All
yeah,
those things play a factor in when you play somebody or when you play a team. You feel me?
yeah. I can completely agree because you catch them on the back end. It's like, all right, you know what I'm saying, they done already wore it down.
Yes. They
Like
didn't
how
went
some
into a
teams,
7 game series instead of, you maybe you sweep whoever you sweep as the coach from Miami, but then the team which you about to play, they go a full 7 games. Now they tired while you got your rest. Now we've seen it work both ways. You know what I'm
hmm,
saying? That's a two-edged sword. Too much
hmm,
rest has hurt some teams before and back in the past. But either way, you have a fresher team to a team that's don't play a complete 7 game series and you only played 4. You know what I'm saying? But because of where you fell from going from 1 to 4, it allowed that to happen. You feel, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, I got you. I feel what you're saying, without a doubt, definitely, definitely. So it it remains to be seen. Of course, I don't think that would be the same rhetoric in the West because
Oh no,
I don't
no,
think
the
I
West
wouldn't
is a
want to see
whole different
Phoenix.
story. Yeah, the
I wouldn't
West
want
is
to
a
see
whole different
Phoenix right
story.
now.
Yeah,
In any
the West
case,
is a whole different story. Yeah, they got yeah, the West is a different animal for real, for real. For real, for real. Phoenix is out there dominating. I mean, when it's all
Memphis
said
ain't
and
too
done, I mean,
far.
a lot of it is, some of it is still the same in regards to who has to face Phoenix when it comes time, um, and stuff like that out there. Everybody out there out west in regards to. Utah, Dallas, those teams out there. Um, I don't know if the Clippers can be considered potential. I mean, there's just and then don't sleep on. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, definitely the West is definitely not like the East because the East is so top heavy, man. They got so many teams out there that just half a game, one game, two games, in change, like you said, changes the whole dynamic of the East. Whereas the West, they just got one team just running rampant, and then you got the Warriors doing anything, and I don't know.
Memphis, the Warriors, and I look at this
Memphis.
this standing, and no, it's nothing. It's inevitable. Los Angeles is going to have another losing record.
Mm,
It's nothing. There's no
mm.
way around it. 7 games left. Uh, yeah,
And
there's
what
no
are
way
y'all right
around it.
now?
31-43.
Oh yeah. Y'all can't
Eight.
y'all
I'm
can't
sorry,
break
8 games
out.
left. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
no
y'all
way we're
can't
gonna
break.
have a losing.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're gonna have a
yeah,
losing record.
yeah. Y'all can't break
Four.
even.
Yeah. But
Well, like I said,
usually,
tonight is the night for
yeah,
Westbrook. We'll see.
yeah. Westbrook, do your thing, man. Show them why you can bring them to LA. This is why y'all bring them to LA. This is
We'll
why I'm
see.
here.
This is why I'm here. This is why I'm hot. This is why I'm hot.
You know what? That's funny. You say that. You say that song. I was looking at you. I ain't seen one of those QT cups in so long. When you was
Mm.
drinking, drink. I was like, I ain't seen one of them cups, them joints in a long, long,
Yeah, we
long,
got
long
one around the
time.
corner from our crib. My JoJo, she love to go to QT. Every time I pick her up from school, that's where she want to go. Dad,
Want to
can we
go
stop by the
QT?
QT store? Mm-hmm.
So of course, on to one of our favorites, the NFL. As we take a look at, we didn't talk about it yesterday. Former running back for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Ronald Jones, Rojo, as we know them, USC alumnus, will be signing or has signed with the Kansas City Chiefs to help to bolster their backfield. Um, 2 years ago, I'd say about 2 years ago, Ronald Jones was actually him and Fournette had a pretty potent 1-2 punch. But he did rescind some last year as Leonard Fournette took the reins and just basically took off with him. But I wonder, is that going to be a good look for him in Kansas City? Is he going to be helpful? What's it going to look for? Of course they have what's that, Chadwick? They have Hilaire, that's there as well. So maybe it sounds like the Kansas City is moving to a different scheme or different mindset when it comes to all the offense now. Of course, without Tyreek Hill, and like we said, they still have
Mm-hmm.
Travis Kelsey, still have
Yeah.
Kelsey. You can't
Mm-hmm.
deny him. They added Juju. They
Juju
added
Smith-Schuster. Mm-hmm.
yeah. So they've added I ain't gonna say pieces that's gonna completely omit or erase what Hill does, but they got pieces now.
Mm. They do. They do. Yeah, like you say, it's not a heel. It's not a Tyreek Hill feeling, but um, it is a feeling. Will Juju come in and accept the role as the number one or number two? Um, Only time will tell. Because
That's
Hardman,
a
I
good
feel like is
question. You
one.
know what? I didn't think about that. You think Hartman's the number one?
He is right now. You got to give him the number one. You can't give it. You can't give it to
He's the
Juju.
only one that knows the system.
You can't give it to Juju. If you really think about it, Juju's probably the three compared to because of Kelsey.
Ah,
You almost got to give Juju the third spot because of Kelsey.
well, we
So
know they're not gonna move Kelsey to
no, no, no,
receiver. So
no,
yeah.
no, no, no. We not. But I'm saying in regards to priority in getting the ball thrown to him. As far as Patrick is concerned, he's going to throw to Hardman or Kelsey probably before he throw to Juju. I mean, that's anticipated. We don't know for sure
Hmm.
until, of course, the season starts, but we'll see. We'll see. But did you hear
I did
about
not
this?
think about that.
What?
That Kelsey, now that the Hill is gone as the number one, and now they're gonna have to
Mm,
find another number one.
yeah, And it, like I said, is Juju gonna fill that slot? Juju couldn't fill that position in Pittsburgh. They wanted him to. He was supposed to when AB left, but he didn't. He didn't. Whatchamacall came in. Claypool came in and became the number one.
Mm-hmm.
So, oh, but did you see this new thing about the NFL? Said that all teams must add minority offensive assistant coaches.
Yeah, they've expanded the Rooney Rule.
I like it.
In
Yeah,
which matter of fact, I had it on here. We'll get to that very shortly, where we can go a little
okay.
more in depth on it. And it's interesting you say that you like it. To see, additionally, Solomon Thomas, the ex defensive end from the San Francisco 49ers, as well as the Las Vegas Raiders, has reunited with his old coach in New York, as he is signed by the New York Jets, realigning with Robert Saleh. As you know, saying Robert Saleh was the defensive coordinator of the 49ers 2 years ago. Um, but some interesting stuff in which we can talk about, Bishop. And this involves one of your beloved Boom Sooners in Baker Mayfield.
Mm-hmm.
10 days after being 10 days after the Cleveland Browns signing uh, Deshaun
Sean
Watson, he
Watson.
is still on their roster. What
Mm-hmm.
gives here? Do y'all have a chat room or somewhere where Boomer Sooner fans talk to the players, and where you can talk to Baker and find out what's going on, what's doing?
No, unfortunately, no, we don't have nothing like that. To me, it seems as though either the Cleveland Browns are looking to make Baker what you want, what you were saying a few days ago when you and I were talking about it. It looks as though the Cleveland Browns are looking to keep Baker because of the fact that they
Mm,
don't know about whether or not a suspension is coming down for Deshaun,
hmm
which we've already spoke. If a,
It's
if
more
a
than likely
suspension
it
does,
will.
yeah, if a suspension coming down, we're looking at least 6 games.
Hmm
So, with that being said, they brought in who was it? Jacoby? Not was it Jacoby Brissett?
Yeah, Brissett.
Jacoby. So I'm looking at, if I'm a Browns owner or a Browns general manager, should I say?
Hmm
I'm looking at, okay, if we do happen to lose Deshaun for 6 games at the most, who's going to take over this? Who's going to lead the team while we wait for Deshaun to come back from suspension? So
hmm
your hands are, you got left Brissett, right, Baker. Well, we do know that Baker knows the system. He's been there he's been there since he's been drafted, so he knows the system. He clearly knows the system. So, do you take a chance and allow Jacoby to come in and maybe possibly, fall to the first half of the season or the first quarter of the season because he's new and hadn't learned the system? Or do you take your chances with Baker? He already knows the system, and just keep him, until you figure it out on how long Deshaun is going, or until Deshaun comes back.
hmm
So that's what it sounds like to me. Cleveland is keeping all their eggs in one basket to ensure that they don't sell themselves short with Jacoby Brissett. So that's what I feel like is happening. That the draft, all these things are coming into play. I think once they find out about what happens with Deshaun in regards to suspension, I feel like what happens in regards to the draft on April the 28th, I think that's when we'll see more in regards to Baker Mayfield. As well as you say Baker Mayfield, Jimmy G ain't left either.
He ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, I seen that yesterday. They
Yeah,
said
he's not going nowhere.
they're in talks that they're not even getting rid of Jimmy.
So, like I said, I think although it may look like the 49ers like botched it a little bit, in which I think we talked about it last week, that I don't know if Jimmy G played the right card, but basically what happened is his surgery put a damper on the trade talks, because they're looking
It
at
did.
like, we
It
can't,
did.
like, one, we can't of course what
No
his
one
arm
can
is going
see.
to be like after that is, secondly,
Right.
we can't he can't pass a physical. We're not going to
Yeah.
take him if he can't pass a physical.
Right.
Not to mention, like he's going to even if he was able to pass a physical, or we took him before the surgery, he's going to be down. We traded
Mm.
for a rental, and so with all that being said, it put a damper on those talks. So now, but I think it's still a sensible. Like he's still a 2-time in 4 years, he's taken the team to a Super Bowl and two NFC conference championships in 4 years, in which 1.5 of the years he did not play. So it breathes well, it sounds well. I think it's good to have him still. Trey Lance is still a young talent in which 1 year removed from being drafted, he did get to see the system. He didn't play in the system, but now the idea is that he's going to get the reins and let him have the reins. And then if it's not going well, you always have Jimmy that's a backup at this point as he recovers.
So you
Now with Jim
basically see the same thing as what I just spoke about in regards to Cleveland.
Baker, yeah.
You feel like they're gonna keep him
But
along,
now,
keep him in
yes,
keep him in the back
but I
until it's
think the
time.
problem that comes up in which we're not looking at is that sounds good as long as Jimmy is recovering. What happens when Jimmy
Right,
is recovered?
right,
So it like do
right.
to be a rookie and to constantly have to look over your shoulder at this man who, yes, he hasn't been the greatest, but he has been great enough for the organization.
Right.
So it's like at this point, it's like this is what we're looking at. Like, yes, he hasn't been the greatest, but he's been great enough for this organization to put it in play. You can't cut Jimmy; he would be 27 million cap. So means Trey will never start. I mean, you can't cut him. They just have to. They had to.
Eat that.
Yeah, they would just have to. Now they could have cut him and still and they could have saved some money on the cap. It wouldn't have been much, but at this
Hmm.
point, you got to look. It's 1 year. They was expecting to play Jimmy 26 million anyway. The only reason they're not great, so graciously thinking about paying Jimmy 26 million is because he wasn't the quarterback in which Shanahan had initially thought he should be. So this is where we're at, and so he just wants a different player. Sure, you can. He's going to have to be. He's got the
Until
surgery.
he's got to rehab. Yeah, he's got
Yeah,
to rehab
he's
that
going to. So
surgery.
at this point he's a backup. And
Yeah, you got to rehab
so
that
if you're
surgery.
so think about it, right?
Yeah.
And this is a 49ers. This has been the 49ers uh recipe to success, I guess you could say somewhat. Alex Smith was playing pretty good ball. Alex Smith got injured. Insert Colin Kaepernick.
Hmm.
Colin Kaepernick played excellent ball. Why would you remove Colin Kaepernick from playing excellent ball because Alex Smith has came back?
Is back.
When
Right.
when Alex Smith wasn't your guy, he was just there. But now your guy is in there playing. He's playing excellent ball. We won't continue to roll with my guy, and we'll take a look at how this goes on after this. Same thing with Trey Lance and Garoppolo. Garoppolo's going to be recovering
Same
from his
scenario.
injury. Yeah, in a sense, Garoppolo's recovering from his injury. We have Trey Lance. If Trey Lance is playing well, Trey Lance was drafted to be the future, the 49ers future. If
Facts.
Lance is playing well, who cares if they're playing Garoppolo? 26 million, okay, they're gonna have to eat that. Or we all know how it goes towards the end of the season. I mean, towards the middle of the season, how things start shaping out. You might have a
Trade
quarterback that
deadline
goes
and all that.
down the
Right.
trade deadline. Hey, Trey Lance is doing pretty well. Let's trade. Let's go ahead and move Jimmy. As a team that knows Jimmy, let's go ahead and see if they want to take Jimmy, what they're willing to give for it, and get
Right.
some assets most likely, and then
Yeah.
go
Some
on from there.
picks. Yeah. Some
Yeah.
picks and
So
stuff
you know
like
what
that.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's going it works. Of course, it's based on certain things happening,
Hmm.
but it works, and I'm cool with that. As I looked at it and seeing how it was coming up, you would have liked to have got that 26 million back, so you could have made some different moves, bringing some different people. But heck, it's you got Tyron Matthew that's still out there, Melvin Gordon. You got
Hmm.
a bunch of veterans that we can use. We need a better secondary, but at this
Hmm.
point, we're gonna have to find other ways to do it. So I'm cool with it. I think he's a safety blanket at this point.
Jimmy G is.
Yeah, he's a safety
Yeah.
blanket for us. So it didn't go as planned, but it still.
Yeah,
I
I'm
think it
sure.
was able to.
I'm
Yeah.
sure this. Yeah, I'm sure the 49ers had no intentions on keeping Jimmy this long.
Oh no.
I think it just happened to fall that way right now.
Hmm.
It's the exact same with Cleveland. I feel like Cleveland probably was like, okay, yeah, we brought in Deshaun, but hold up, don't just that's not just ship. It's not just ship Baker out too quick now because
Hmm.
Deshaun, if he gets suspended, he may be gone for 6 games at least. So if he is gone for at least 6 games, we need somebody to step in for Deshaun. And right now we got Brissett. We need somebody to compete with him.
Hmm.
We got him. We need somebody. So yeah, Jimmy is the same thing. Only is who's y'all third?
Sutfield.
Oh, Sudfield. That's right. You told me that. You used to be with Philly. Yeah. So
Yeah,
Trey
he the
Lance
one.
definitely has an opportunity to start. Being that he's competing with Sudfield, he definitely has
Hmm.
an opportunity to win the starting position. Yeah. So especially if you waiting for Jimmy to come back and see how he does after his therapy and his rehab and all of that. So
So
we'll see, man.
another quarterback to talk about. Uh, of course, our third quarterback this segment, Cam Newton.
Oh,
Cam has stated that
what was that?
he said this, Cam has stated uh release
You
because
still want to
and
play?
you know what, that's interesting you say that, Anthony, and I think that's a lot
Teams
like
are waiting on
it's
Baker
all
to be
this.
released. Oh, facts.
Yeah, yeah. It's so I think of it's a lot of that blood in the water. Like, oh, he doesn't want to be there. Like, why do we need to trade for him?
When
We'll
we
wait
could
till he
just
gets
wait.
released, and
Mhm.
we just compete for him in that
Wait it
way
out.
instead of.
Yep, wait it out.
And
Yep.
so it seems like it's funny that you say that, Anthony, because it seems like that's the same rhetoric in which Cam is going with. Cam has stated that that is teams that have contacted him and his representation who are interested in him, but he's waiting for what he sees as the perfect opportunity to compete and win a championship and for the best
Mm.
fit for him. So I ask you, Bishop,
So Cam is not done. So ooh,
Cam is not done.
Cam. Okay.
Cam.
Okay.
So what so I ask you this. Do you
Hmm.
think, or if you were a representation of Cam, or even just if you were Cam, do you bet on someone needing somebody, and do you go after the opportunity that's presented in front of you, or do you wait to see what is the best fit for you at this
So I
stage in your career?
so we all know. I think it's safe to say Cam is not the Cam of old.
Hmm.
Cam needs to accept whatever Cam can get, in my personal opinion,
Hmm.
because we saw Cam come back to his old team, the Carolina Panthers, and he should have left. He should have never came back because he was not doing. Yeah, he had a couple of good games when he first came back, but then he went right back to the old Cam, and the whole reason on why Carolina got rid of him in the first place.
Mm.
So, in my opinion, I mean, I don't know what Cam sees or thinks or whatever. And don't get me wrong, but you and I have both been there before. We feel like we're playing at some point, especially at the age in which Cam is, which he's not an old guy. Um, at a certain age, you still feel like you have the means to be able to compete and still play at a high level. The fact of the matter is, there are younger guys that are coming in who's playing at a way higher level than you are, and that's unfortunate for Cam. Is there a team that probably could use Cam? Of course,
I'm very sure. Yeah.
I'm not even opposed to not. I'm not even opposed for Philly not picking him up
Mm.
and using Jalen maybe as a backup. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Just in case Cam, because Cam's gonna mess up. He's gonna
Who's your
mess up.
current? Who's your current backup?
Um, what's that guy's name? I can't call his name right now. Hold on. I'll tell you. Um,
Key, who's the backup in Philly? I know she would know.
um, it's
You have a couple of
Minshew,
backup.
Gardner Minshew.
Oh, y'all got Gardner Minshew as a backup?
Yeah, it
Ooh.
was. You remember it used to be
Hey,
Flacco,
what's
but
up, morning? Irma.
morning Arnold, how you doing? It
What?
was it used to be Joe Flacco, but now yeah, it's Gardner Minshew.
Oh, I got Gardner Minshew.
Yeah.
Interesting. I wouldn't even bring Cammy in there. I think Garden Minshew has the potential to be another Mitchell Trubisky.
Really?
Yeah, I think he
Wow.
going to a different system, making things work. Or
Okay.
maybe that could be a little subjective, but I think he had the tools when he left. I think he just kind of like got failed by Jacksonville after
Mm-hmm.
he potentially went to the championship. I think they kind of failed him.
Eagle fans don't know the backup, so you know it's bad. Nah, it ain't bad, Anthony. Whatever, man. Who's y'all backup in Washington? And don't take
Heineke,
forever. Don't look it up. Who's y'all starter first? That's some better questions.
you know who their starter is.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Nobody.
so yeah, even then, also what's going on with Cam is him and Overtime. If you know Overtime, Overtime is a sports media outlet. Him and Overtime have partnered together to create a 7-on-7 football league. I'm not sure if it's going to be a if
League.
it's 7-on-7 flag, 7-on-7 high school, 7-on-7 tackle, but they have basically create joint forces in which there's more to come out later. I think the league is expected to just begin on in sometime in June.
Oh, really?
So yeah, so
Oh,
now
Tyrod
that's
Taylor.
so no Taylor Heineke.
Oh, Heineke. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know Tyra Taylor is in New York now.
Oh, that's right. He did go to New York. That's right. Oh, yep. I forgot about that. Yep.
Yeah, so
So they coming up
yes,
with it. So he's decided to come up with his own football league, man.
yeah, him and overtime media, sports media.
Mm, mm.
So I'm remains to be see what it's about. 7-on-7. See, like I said, I
Yeah.
don't know if it's flag football, tackle, or what
Right.
exactly the platform is. We just know the format is 7-on-7. Um, speaking of New York, Saquon Barkley is not expected to be from what their GM states. They're not shopping or looking to trade Saquon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like they've been
Oh,
getting calls and inquiries about him,
yeah.
but
Because a lot of
they're
people
not.
was thinking Saquon was going to be out of New York
So
because of these
it's funny
injuries
how
and
they
stuff.
do that, bruh. So think about it. When they had the coaches and GMs at the combine, all that type of stuff, his words were he would be open to listening about anybody.
Right.
Then here we are a month and a half later, or maybe just a month later.
A month
Now
later.
now the rhetoric is I'm not trading, we're not trading or shopping him. You just said you would be listen to anybody about anyone. And
Hmm.
now, you know what I'm saying? Come on, keep the same energy. Let's keep the same energy. Let's not play the games. We don't have time for that.
Well,
About
maybe the coaching is looking at um Saquon having a healthy season and maybe coming in and doing, I don't know how, when they not even in spring training or nothing like that yet. I don't think, are they? They not in spring training yet. No.
not yet.
Yeah. So I don't know how, they are evaluating Saquon already, unless they just talking to him or they talking to his doctors from his previous injury or surgery or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. Something obviously changed the general manager's mind on wanting to shop Saquon. Hey
Mm.
mama. Hey mama.
So of course, additionally, New Orleans news. New Orleans signed Traquan Smith, wide receiver, to a 2-year deal, 2 years, $6 million deal to stay in New Orleans, as New Orleans was a he was all right for New Orleans. He made a couple of plays here and there, but now he's going to be there for 2 more years. Another, I guess, weapon, quote unquote, to bring in with Michael Thomas, who I think is going to stay. I don't know if Bishop thinks Michael Thomas is going to be there. Um,
Michael
Tim
Thomas
was like,
gonna be where? You don't know if he's gonna be where in New
in
Orleans?
New Orleans, yeah.
Yeah, they ain't finna get rid of him. They need Michael Thomas right
I think he's
now.
gonna stay there because Peyton's gone.
Well, I feel like they need something in regards for Jameis. They need that number one because Michael Thomas is clearly the number one over there.
Yes, currently yes, without a doubt. So one of the things in which we uh that also came up yesterday, uh like we was talking about the extension or the change in the Rooney Rule. So now what has been said in the Rooney Rule is that each team must also interview a woman
A
for
woman? Did you say a
yes.
woman?
Yes.
Oh wow.
The women have been added to that. So now, when doing interviews, the team has to interview a woman for even the coaching position or I'm not head, front office position has to be a part of
Hmm.
the part of that, as well as the minorities extended to the minority ethnic minorities. But additionally, what can happen is a woman can be suitable for both positions. If you get what I'm saying. So now the
Hmm.
woman can be, instead of just interviewing a person of color, eh, for a person of color for these positions, they all now can interview a woman as well. So instead of interviewing an African American or a Hispanic, or a Latino or a Pacific Asian Islander for the positions, they could basically interview two women for the position. But there's a twist as well. The organization has to hire a male or a female, a male, African, correction, a person of color or a minority, or a woman to fill roles and positions on the office and coaching staffs. So now this has to go on to where the players. So now this looks to energize and gets more people of color as well as women in the ranks. So on the coaching side, the offensive side of the ball is where they have to hire these individuals at. So it's not just an interview; they have to be hired in these positions. Uh,
Oh wow.
Additionally, the NFL has created a committee that basically takes a look at the policies of the NFL teams and look at how they can better create a better of an opportunity, a better policies to create diversity inside the senior level coaching as well as front office positions. So the NFL created the diversity advisory committee. Um, so hopefully it helps out as well. So with those being said, Bishop, I heard earlier you was talking about it. You like the ideal of that? Does that you still like the ideal, and why so? Do you think this is going to better the Rooney Rule, or is it going to find a way for them to find loopholes to get around?
Well, I'm glad they implemented it. Hopefully, this will help the Rooney Rule. Hopefully, it'll help eventually getting minorities in the owner's box as well, in the owner's
Hmm.
position. And we got to take baby steps, and this is a baby step in the right direction, in efforts to try and get more diversity within the NFL association and for NFL league. So I like it. I definitely like it. Surprising, I didn't know that they were had added not only you know people of color, but also of a different gender in regards to
Hmm.
the women. So that's that. When you made that comment, that was or stated that was first I had heard about that because I didn't even see them say that on TV. But with that's like I said, that's good. That's real good. Bye man, bye baby, bye baby, bye baby. So yeah, that's good. Does this make the NFL doing too much? You making teams hire a black coach not because of time, just because of. Well, no. So Anthony, I don't think that's going to. So don't get me wrong. I do feel like some teams are probably going to do it just to fill the void or fill the slot of meeting the requirement. However, comma there is a I see tailor made. But I do feel like Yeah, some teams will do that, to fulfill the requirement. Um,
Hmm.
but there are a lot of coaches out there, African American, a lot of diverse coaches out there who could possibly come in and that know a lot about the sport and that can do some things and make be very helpful to some teams out there. Let's just hope there's more um, talented coaches or assistant coaches to come out and make these games and make these teams better.
I agree. I agree. But then but that has always been my thought. In Anthony, what you were speaking of, like, and which I was taking the before I jumped on this morning, I was taking a look at One Patriot Place, another E2G show, in which they was talking about, in which they brought up in this discussing, um is it we don't what you don't want to happen is that we remove the fact of people getting hired for the simple fact that they are qualified. So of course we hope that the qualification, everyone's still meeting the qualification aspect and not getting hired because they're just a woman, African American, a Latin, a Latino, Pacific Asia Islander, or anything of that nature. Like, they actually have the chops to get the job done. Because the last thing in which we need to do is have an individual get hired because of their color or their gender, and then not be
Mm-hmm.
able to do the job. Now we've created a narrative where they can be like, "See, this is what the room does. This person wasn't
Mm-hmm.
ready for the position," and so on and
Mm-hmm.
so forth. So that,
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion, that changes that becomes counterproductive. So
Mm-hmm.
ideally, with let's hope that these people are definitely people that, saying that these are presenting people who normally wouldn't have got it because of whatever disparity would have became, and that they're actually it's creating the avenue for them to be, because they are highly qualified and able to get into these positions. That it's not just, like you said, a check the box, that is going to basically be a check the block, to where people are going to hire them and be like, they didn't cut the mustard, and now
Mm-hmm.
where they were horrible. The Rooney Rule or the amendment is, saying this is what is produced and all this type of stuff. Now we come back to square one. So I hope this is definitely a position, like you said, opens up for these people, these individuals that potentially now could be hired or get to a closer look at, as it wouldn't be before, and they're going to be completely and utterly well qualified for the position, and be able to make things happen in the organizations.
Mm-hmm.
So I know it's a little early, Bishop. I ask you now. Let's take a look at, or have a conversation, right? A conversation about next year's top free agents, the
Mm-hmm.
people who have not been signed yet. Just a few, like I said, we could take a look at top 20. Of course, no. Let's start with the 20. Number 20. This is a per ESPN's last list. Number 20, Deontay Johnson, wide receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Do you think he moves on, or you think he stays in Pittsburgh? If, as of right now,
He's a free agent.
no, next year he'll be a free agent.
Oh, next year.
Look at you! Look at you! You was like, Philly ain't called him yet.
No, 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 no. I don't even know who this kid is.
Deontay Johnson.
Yeah.
He was the reason. He was
Is
uh
that the
uh
kid that
in Pittsburgh. He was the one who was picking up where Claypool was dropping off.
Okay, okay. I know who you're talking about. No, he stays. Mike ain't gonna let him go. Especially now that Juju gone. Yeah, he'll stay.
Okay, okay, okay. Uh, Next one, of course, Byron Murphy Jr., cornerback for the Arizona Cardinals. 25 years old. Number
Mm.
18, Hunter Renfro, wide receiver, Las Vegas Raiders. 27 years old. He'll be a free agent next year.
Oh, they'll
I
keep
think
him.
I'm about to say it's probably going to be depending upon how well. You think he's done enough already to solidify him staying?
Mm-hmm. As long as he don't get hurt or injured or anything, yeah, yeah, he'll be
Number
straight.
17, Dawson Knox, tight end, Buffalo Bills.
Buffalo Bill, he's staying too.
Mhm.
He's nice. He's an
Yeah,
up and
yeah.
coming tight end. He's up and coming.
Uh, Number 16, Bradley Chubb, outside linebacker, Denver Broncos.
Denver Broncos. Now they just picked up. Russell, they revamping their
Randy
defense.
Gregory, yeah, they revamping.
Gregory, yeah, yeah, they probably keep him.
Keep him. Try to keep him. He's 27 years old,
Mhm.
young still.
Yeah, they probably keep him.
Interesting one. At number 15. At number 15, free agent next year. Tom Brady, Tampa Bay Buccaneers quarterback.
No, Tom Brady. Well, so depending on how this season goes for Tom in Philly, in Tampa Bay, is going to determine whether or not for Tom, we don't know. Tom can retire any day, so
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's definitely in the air. I can't really say yet because we don't know what Tom's plan is going to be.
Mm.
Could he possibly still stay in Tampa Bay? Sure. Could he go somewhere else? I don't know. I don't know if the market
He'll
is
be 43
still
by the
open.
time the 2023 season begins.
That's what I'm
46, I'm
saying.
sorry.
Yeah, I don't know if the market is
Going to be open
open
for
to
him. Yeah.
open to having a 46-year-old quarterback come in and take over the realm for any franchise out there. So I couldn't see him going to another team at all. So either Tom going to either retire or play a year or two more at where he is, and that's about it.
Okay. Number 14 ranked free agent for next year. Marcus Davenport, defensive end, Detroit
Or
Saints.
yeah. Um, how old is he?
27. He'll be 27 by the beginning of next year.
And he's where is he at right now?
New Orleans defensive end.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, he'll probably stay.
You think they resign him?
Saints kind of try and hold on to their people for a minute. Yeah, he'll probably stay.
Number three number three ranked number 13th ranked free agent for next year. Roquan Smith, inside linebacker of Chicago Bears, 26 years old next year.
Is that one of the Smith brothers?
No, he's the he's the third ranked linebacker in the NFL since the start of his career in 2018, only behind Bobby Wagner and Darius Leonard. He thinks he's pretty speedy in coverage and covets well to minimize mismatches. So Roquan Smith, I think he came from Alabama 3 years ago, 4 years ago.
Mm. And he's where?
He's in Chicago right now.
Ooh. They'll keep him.
You think they find a way to keep
Yeah,
him?
if he's third in as far as linebackers in the NFL, yeah, they'll keep him.
For number 12, DK Metcalf, wide receiver,
He's
Seattle
gone.
Seahawks, 25. That's 25 years old. You think he's done?
He's going after this year.
Oh,
After when he comes up for free agency, yeah, he
yeah.
won't be in Seattle.
So next year he's gonna go ahead and bounce.
Somebody's gonna get him. Yeah,
Okay.
he gonna be out.
Number 11, Minka Fitzpatrick, safety, Pittsburgh Steelers, 26 years old next year.
Pittsburgh is like that too. Pittsburgh keep their
Hold
people
on to
around
their
a long
people.
time. Yeah, they hold on to their people. He'll probably stay.
Okay.
He probably Mike is probably not gonna let that probably have a say so on not letting him go. Yeah.
All right. Number 10, Jack Conklin, offensive tackle, Cleveland Browns, 29 years old next year.
Oh, he might go because we know
Like,
Cleveland's
man,
offensive
well,
line is not
yeah,
that
but
dude.
he's when you think about it,
And he's the
they have
offensive tackle. We gonna see how he do with Deshaun.
yeah, that's what I was about to say. Like he's basically
Yeah.
when you look at it,
He's
he's
left or right.
they can say it just says
It don't
offensive
say just
tackle
say
when you look
OT.
at it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Number 9, Terry McLaurin, wide receiver, Washington Commanders, 27 years old next year.
Mm. Yeah, he might be out of there. Yeah, he might be out of there.
Greener plasters.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's been there for a while. He's injury prone, but he's a pretty good
Yeah.
receiver.
Yeah. But he's injury prone and he's been there for a while. Like, yeah, I think he's gone.
Number 8, Derek Carr, quarterback, Las Vegas Raiders. He'll be 32 years old next year.
I don't know. I think Derek might stay. I think they like Derek out there in Las Vegas, to be honest.
It's like, why bring Devontae Adams in if you're not
And
going
now
to?
and you get rid of Carr the following year. Absolutely.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
So,
exactly. Number 7, Egton Jenkins, guard, offensive tackle, center. He could play anywhere on the line. Green Bay Packers, 27 next year.
they'll keep him. He's 27. They'll keep him.
Mm-hmm. Number 6, AJ Brown,
Why you
Tennessee.
want to jump me, bro? Why you want to jump me, bro? I'm just saying. He
Because he
gone,
said,
man. McCarron. He talking about McCarron. He gone,
talking
bro.
about the carry. I figured you
Yeah,
was gonna
he
say
gone,
something.
bro. He gone, bro.
He gonna do you like he gonna pull a Will Smith. AJ Brown, wide receiver, Tennessee Titans, 26 years old.
AJ Brown. I don't know because we know whatchamacall left. Julio.
Julio's gone.
Um,
DeAndre Foreman's gone.
yeah.
They're like, mm-hmm.
Tannehill is still under the center. AJ Brown. How old is he?
26. He'll be 26 next year.
Because this is second contract then. Second. Yeah,
Yeah,
second.
it's
Probably
his, so
second.
yeah,
Second. Yeah.
his rookie contract is the end of his, so is a pay, like Key said, pay him. So he'll
Yeah.
be, it's they're
Yeah,
coming
if they
into
pay
that.
him, he'll stay. Yeah, if they pay him, he'll stay. They probably gonna pay him because he's got to be the number one over
You
there.
gotta think, like, the market is set already.
Yeah,
So
it is. It is with all these
20,
payments that
20,
people
20 million
with
plus.
Tyreek Hill. Yeah, the market has
20
been
million
set.
plus. The
Yeah,
market's been set.
yeah.
Number 5, top top free agent next year, Debo Samuels, wide receiver, San Francisco 49ers.
Ooh, that's for you there, bro.
27 years
That's
old.
for you. I'm not finna answer that. That's your squad.
Oh yeah, you know
Mhm.
they don't have to pay him. Do you
They
do
gonna
you
pay.
let that type of talent walk out the door?
I don't.
Exactly. Like, you can't, like, if you could pay him, pay him.
I don't.
You
No.
got to. If you
He
can
was the
pay him, pay him.
he was the core of offense last year.
Mm-hmm.
Key say pay him too.
Gotta pay him.
Yeah, yeah. You
Number
gotta
4,
pay him.
Denzel Ward, cornerback, Cleveland Browns,
Cleveland Browns. Yeah, they gonna keep him.
26 years old.
Yeah, they need
He's
that
used.
defense. They need unless they picking somebody up in the draft. Yeah.
So that's going to prove to be better.
Mm-hmm. Or even if not necessarily better, but if they even on the same almost caliber as he is coming out of college and
Mm-hmm.
can compete. Yeah, but if not, then yeah, they'll keep him.
All right. Number 3, Derwin James Jr., safety, Los Angeles Rams.
Yeah.
Correction, Los Angeles Chargers, 27 years old.
Yeah, the Chargers trying to build their stuff up. They probably they probably keep him.
Continue to build the team, keep that same running back mentality. All right. Number 2, Quentin Nelson, guard, Indianapolis Colts. He'll be 27 next year.
Indianapolis Colts. Now they got
Matt.
They just got Matty Ice.
And he's a guard, so that means he probably opens
He's
up.
Right
opens up
by the
hole.
center, so that
he opens up the holes for
yeah, and he's protecting the quarterback up the middle.
Mm-hmm.
They'll probably keep him.
And
we probably only gonna get Matty in Indianapolis for a year or two before he retires.
And last, the top 2023 top free agent for the next year, Lamar Jackson, quarterback for the Baltimore Ravens.
Oh, he's definitely staying.
26 years old.
Yeah, Lamar is definitely staying. He's not going nowhere. Baltimore will pay them. Pay that man. And that market's been set too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that quarterback. Yeah. So, of course, it's funny you say that because, of course, you have 2 other quarterbacks that's going to be in that same or be free agents next year. Baker Mayfield and Jimmy Garoppolo will be free agents next year. Tremaine Edmonds, inside linebacker for Buffalo Bills.
Kyler Murray.
Saquon Barkley be a free agent next year. No one's. Yes, Kyler Murray.
Yes, you better put it out there, bro.
Kyler
Kyler
Murray gonna be
Murray.
free agent.
Yes, sir, he will be. Yes, he will
Do
be.
you do
Yes.
you actually think he's gonna get the free agency though? You don't think they'll come up to a understanding prior to?
You know what? I actually do, because it's been some feathers ruffled out there in Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
It's a possibility. Yes, I do. I really do, because it's been some ruffled feathers out there. Him taking down our Arizona stuff on his timeline, on his Twitter, and yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Unless they have a, a kumbaya moment together as owners and coaches and stuff with Kyler, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he could definitely hit the free agency market quick. As long as they got somebody to take his place too. They definitely ain't gonna let him hit the market if they ain't got a backup to take his place.
Tyler, get out your feelings, bro. It's okay. Get out your feelings, man.
I know, right? Yeah, Lamar would change the QB market next year. You think so? You think he gonna be? You think he gonna be that quarterback to
Nah.
get the biggest pay
You know what? I'm not
as a
gonna say
black
no yet.
as a black quarterback? Will he
I'm
be the
not gonna
one to set
say
the market next year?
I wouldn't say no yet. I because I was quick to say no. I wouldn't say no yet because you got to think for him to do that, he has to get 46 plus to be able to do that. So I think all that's going to be predicated on how well he
He played
plays
and how
this
healthy he
year
stays.
and
Yeah,
how
and
healthy
how
he
healthy.
stays. And, you know, what
Yeah,
I'm saying, of course, we all know that he can't. He can't do any of that without help. Like you know, what I'm saying you can't. Like what the Baltimore do to go get him help? Like it's still, I mean, of course, Odell Beckham is still out there. Uh, Landry is still out there. And a couple of other ones. But what you know, Julio is out there. Like, what are they doing to get him help? Are they looking at draft? Where do they draft at? Let me
right.
see. Trying to see where do they draft at.
Where's my book? I could tell you where they drafted. You talking about in this upcoming draft, right?
Yeah,
They draft. They're down there in the 20s, I think. Let me look. I got it. The Ravens are 18, and they're not.
18.
They're not even looking. And they're not looking at. They're looking at an offensive tackle. Yeah, they're looking at an offensive tackle. A whole offensive tackle. So
Well, let's see. Mel Kiper's was 6 days ago. Uh, let's see what Mel Kiper had. And like you said, where you say Baltimore drafts where?
18 by
Oh, 18. Let me go back up. 18. And Mel Kiper was looking at them taking a. Hold up, that's not 18. What the hell is that? I don't even see them because it has New Orleans as the 18th. As the 18th.
New Orleans.
Yeah,
This is
as a
by
switch.
who this is. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see. This is who was this Mel Kiper's? I think this, or was this Mike Mayock's? This was, yeah, this was Mel Kiper's 2.0. They had the Ravens at 18. Did something happen and where the Ravens fell off? No, because they ain't made no
They ain't made no
transaction.
trades or nothing yet. Unless
Not
they're
like that.
talking about
No.
there's going to be a trade within the
Let me see.
after that.
Let me see something. I have Todd McShay's. Oh, you're right. Todd McShay's has the Saints at 18.
That's what the Saints has
Oh,
always been
but
18.
Todd McShay's 3.0 draft has the Ravens at 14, and they still got him picking an offensive tackle. Todd McShay's mock has the Ravens at 14.
Okay, you're right. You're right. And there, yeah, you're true. You're right.
Trevor
So
Penny.
even so on this one, they had
Yeah, Key went all over it.
um
Key already on top of it. Yeah, they
on
14.
Kuipers has them at 14 picking Tyler Linderbaum. Linderbaum was but again offensive lineman.
Yeah, they trying to protect. They're trying to protect Lamar.
So in this case, Key Anthony Bishop, do you protect him or do you get him weapons? Hey,
Both.
like what I'm talking about, like where's the more glaring one? Like, okay, because
Protection.
I look at you think so? Because I look
Yeah,
at it,
it's no question because you can't he can't throw the ball.
he's a mobile
Yeah,
quarterback. Like,
I got that, but you still want him. You prefer him. Is him being a mobile quarterback is an added
thank you, Key.
it's added. So I feel like he needs running. He can run with his feet. True, but no coach wants him running with his feet because now
True that, true that.
you put him in position for injuries. You do not want your quarterback on the run. Yeah, it's a good thing. It's good that he's able to do that. But when it's all said and done, that's not what you want. You want him to get the ball out of his hand, save his feet, leave because the longer he can save his feet throughout the game and run only when necessary. And when I say necessary, where it's like we're in the third, fourth quarter, and he has to run because the O line is getting tired, stuff like that. The defense is,
He
beating
knows
down
he
the O
needs to
line.
take the
But
game
if that's
over.
why, if you build up your O line, though, you build up your O line,
So
get some players to protect him, then you don't have to worry about that. And the more you, because I get what y'all saying, he needs weapons. So he has
so
Mark
the reason
Andrews,
yeah,
and
so the reason I say
he
this.
does have Hollywood Brown. Those people are people in which they need to focus on trying to build them up. Mark Andrews is already good where he's at. Hollywood
Yeah, he's
Brown,
good.
he needs help. He needs to come up some more. He needs to be that number one if he chooses to be the number one. I don't think he's a number one. I think he's a 2 or 3. He's not. You say he's not a pocket passer, Key. I disagree. I feel like he's people. I feel like people take away the fact that he's a possible passer because of the fact of what he can do with his legs. He can pass in the pocket, and I feel like he's be effective. The thing of the matter is he doesn't get an opportunity to show that he's a pocket passer because of the fact he's always on the run. He doesn't have the protection he needs, and the the pocket collapses too quickly before because of the fact, like y'all stated, he doesn't have weapons. All he has is Mark. So if Mark is covered, then yeah, the pocket collapses well before he can go into a second or third read to try and get the ball to somebody else who possibly can't even get open. So me, from my personal view, I do feel like he definitely needs to be, or they need to go for
Invest in
offensive
the line.
lineman. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So of course, we'll go ahead and leave it right there. I think it's a little more to uncover with that. Yes, tomorrow, because I was going to
Mm-hmm.
bring something. I was going to ask a question. You kind of like started on the question, but I asked that question tomorrow in reference to that and
Okay.
whether, and I put it out now so we can think about it, maybe do some research to think about it. To whether is his line good enough now if he had better options in the passing
Absolutely.
game.
To answer that question, absolutely. Is it
Yeah,
his
it's
line
his.
is if he had better options outside of Mark, yes, his line is good enough right now.
Yes, that's why.
Yes,
So of course, like
yes,
we know that Hollywood can get away, but it's
right.
like, what's the odds of him
But he
catching this
needs somebody
ball?
else to spread the field. Yeah, and you need somebody
Yeah,
else to
like
spread the field. He needs a, OBJ would be a great addition. OBJ
mhm.
would be a great addition out there. Even
Put pressure on the offense, the secondaries.
right. What's his name? You just mentioned him too.
Landry,
Landry, Jarvis Landry would be a good person out there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, my personal opinion. But
but then
it sounds
there's
as
a
though
lot
the
of
Ravens are working on the line instead of they're not looking
yeah
at
instead of
a
offense. Yeah,
receiver at all.
we understand, and maybe they think that it could be a situation. I mean, of course, we're looking at. We got also take into consideration this is other analysts taking a gander at what they think they're going to get. But of course,
Mhm.
it also
Right.
could be a situation where the wide receiver like this is probably a deep wide receiver group in this draft as well. So it remains to be seen. But of course, that's our time for today. We greatly appreciate y'all coming out, falling in, sharing information with us as we put out all the info. And get ready to release y'all to the day, so you go ahead and get on your days, go out and be great. Of course, y'all know that where to catch us every day, 09 to 1100 hours, Central Standard Time, right here, Monday through Fridays. Um, we look forward to seeing y'all tomorrow. If you're in the Houston area, go ahead and pull up,
Pull
pull
up,
up,
pull up.
pull up to the Hyatt Regency, you know what I'm saying, and holler at us as we'll
Check
be
your
down
boys
there
out.
representing Side Row 5
Thank you,
and
Key.
bringing some
You do
good
the
men
same.
in. Any last words, Bishop, before we roll
No,
out?
man, y'all have a great Tuesday. Enjoy it. Like my frat brother said, Trey. If y'all in the Houston area, be sure to pull up, man. Freddie, thank you so much. We definitely appreciate you for tuning in. Thank you all. Y'all have a great Wednesday, Tuesday, man. We'll catch y'all on tomorrow. Thanks, Sarah.
At this time, show attention, fall out. See you tomorrow.
Cyro 5 Military Fraternity Incorporated. We'll holla at